Hello and welcome back to Dungeon Music Theater. So I've been thinking a lot these past few weeks about the future of this channel. And now I know that this channel is pretty young, it's new, and it's more of a personal space where I can document my creative processes. But still, I thought it was important to figure out where we're headed so that, I don't wander aimlessly. I think like most musicians, composers, or songwriters, we ultimately want to release a body of work that best represents who we are and our voice. And so whether that looks like a soundtrack or an album, or whatever you want to call it these days, music videos, I think that the ultimate goal here is to maybe in the future release a number of tracks or music videos or what have you. Maybe it would be streamed on Spotify, but I think that's the goal, some kind of a cohesive project or an effort that culminates from all the little work that we do on this channel. So I think what that looks like is maybe 5 or 6 kinds of sub goals, and I think if you put them all together, it will help me to achieve that goal. And I think ultimately it's kind of, hopefully, interesting to see what that looks like. And so here we are. Okay, so those 6 categories are: 1, writing tunes. So writing tunes or a series of videos on writing tunes, I think it's going to be focusing on me just being at the piano or a guitar and writing catchy tunes or interesting ideas in the most musical way possible, and generating as much of these as possible over a long period of time, coming back to them and then evaluating it. Is it interesting? Is it not interesting? And just keep at it until you have a kind of a collective body of material that you can then potentially take to the next stage or connect the dots. So I think that'll make a compelling series, because I think in the heart of all hopefully interesting creative endeavors, there's this minimalist kind of focus on the idea, and you have to really, I think, be disciplined in cranking out those ideas over a long period of time, and out of that some rise to the top, and I think that's going to be an interesting subject. 2, it's going to be on sound design. So a series of video on not the musical element, but like tonal, like how to generate cool bass tones or work with an interesting new synthesizer that generates weird noises, or going out and recording drone sounds from the river, and how you can take that and incorporate that into the music. But the whole idea is to build a library of interesting sound tones and workflows and gear. And so maybe the gear review will be kind of wrapped into this thing where you're exploring different tones, and kind of as you build that up, I think you can reference to the first point and start to connect the dots where, okay, that particular bass tone could go really cool with that one idea I had, and then you begin to start building bridges and build up something that could be something greater. Number 3, now, this is a little, I think, risky, but music videos or having visuals to these musical tracks, I think it's an important one. I hope that it doesn't become a distraction, and I think we'll have to focus on that, making sure that it doesn't get out of hand. But today's medium in this channel, I think it's important to have some kind of interesting, compelling visuals to accompany the music that goes with it. So I don't know what that exactly looks like, but it's something that I'll try to achieve, or at least work out in the episodes to come. And it'll be an interesting way to document that, or just to learn from, and just kind of a great, interesting experience. Collaboration. Number 4 is collaboration, and I think it's one of the more important ones. I think the goal for this channel is to not be some solo act and kind of me kind of mad scientisting away, because that's a lonely endeavor. And so while I can't do this for all the tracks, maybe select tracks or certain tunes could potentially have other collaborators work on it. And I don't know what that looks like specifically, but I'll make an effort to reach out to try to collaborate, try to work together with others. So that way this project is also about collaborating with others, getting enriched and challenged by others around you. And so we'll see how that looks like. And I think it'd be interesting to document that as well. And there'll be plenty of videos, I think, that could be generated from that effort. Number 5 is production. Admittedly, I'm a little nervous about that because this is the part where it can become a chore. It can be very joyless, but because we are trying to achieve that playlist, album, soundtrack kind of standard, production is going to be critical and it's going to be key. So this is maybe a series of videos on how to mix, how to sidechain, or other kinds of, I think, just techniques that I'm sure it's useful to the people watching, but to the creator like myself is one of the things that, yeah, I mean, I think I'll enjoy it. And I think maybe if I do this process like this way, maybe production will be a joy. But my past experience has been where production is fun, but mostly it's just a lot of work, a lot of hard work. And that's when you tend to start to feel like music becomes a burden. And so I want to be careful here, and I'm a little nervous, and it'll be interesting to see how this will be different this time, where production is sort of a kind of a polishing, joyous process rather than again, a chore and something that's very, very much feels like busy work. And finally, I think it's really important to be able to promote these tracks or whatever this is to a live audience or streamed or some kind of something. And again, I don't know how this exactly looks, but I think, you know, music is meant to be shared. And so maybe there'll be episodes about if somehow some venue or something with other collaborators be able to perform some of the tracks to others in some way. And I think that's a noble goal to have, because music is, I think, at least for this channel, is meant to be shared. And there'll just be so many interesting things that come out of you trying to do this live. And maybe it's an arrangement thing, maybe it's different technology or technical issues you have to overcome, but there's a lot to be there. So yeah, I think that's the 6 goals. And there's going to be a lot of great, hopefully interesting videos to come, and it'll help me to be inspired and continue, and hopefully you'll find it interesting.